All right, so we was talking about this brunch, and if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment down below. Now let's just wrap up this brunch. We was talking about Marie and just the meltdown, and yeah. So what were your final thoughts on it?
I did feel like it was very extra. I thought that it was inappropriate too. I felt like Marie lost control, and it stems from even when we were at the table. Like we did an icebreaker where everybody was supposed to say something nice about the person that they pulled their name, and so it got to me, and she didn't even have anything nice to say to me. Even though she and I don't have an issue with each other, I just felt like she was just in a space where she was not trying to be positive. So the negative energy is something that everybody felt. And she definitely had a lot of personal issues going on, God knows. And I still feel for her for so much of that. Yeah. But it wasn't the time and place. I felt like she could have better controlled that, you know. But people are who they are, and they in that moment, sometimes you just can't control yourself. So that must have been what happened.
And I agree. If it would have been my first like encounter at one of Letitia brunches, it just wouldn't have been a good look for Letitia. So I felt like wrong time, wrong place for sure.
Right.
But it just seemed like the beef with Latrice always trumped everything else. You know, like that was just the focus, and I always got the best of her. So I really hate that for Marie, because I do think she's a likable character on the show. She definitely has moments, especially when we get into this new season with the Tamara stuff. But I love Marie on the show, and I don't know. It's sometimes it can be weird, but I want to root for Marie, but sometimes she can just be a super frustrating character on the show.
Well, guess what? If you were to ask anybody around town in reality, what do they know about Marie? How do they feel about Marie? I promise you, I have always heard she is the sweetest person ever. Everybody says that. Before I even got to know, I heard of her and I was asking around, you know, just because that's just what I do. Everybody says she's the sweetest thing. So this is a side that has shocked a lot of people in the city, because people know her as being sweet, nice, kind Marie.
So basically, she could be putting on for the cameras, being somebody she might not be, and just probably be playing a role. The same thing she coming at Tamara for, basically.
Well, I thought that, and that's why I wasn't hard on her about a lot of the stuff that was done when we got a little bit further deeper into the season. And, you know, even season 1 got a little dirty because you had to deal with a podcaster and all these different awful things that came about. I still had grace for her. So it's interesting, because I guess I just think, nah, she can't really be like that. I just won't believe it. It's weird.
Yeah.
But they definitely have real life beef, and that's not a joke. Like, her and Latrice are not seeing eye to eye, baby, at all. Period.
It drains me. 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 So let's get into Sistervention. You were present for the very, very messy Supervention caused by Westside Tam. So Westside Tam was a little shady to our girl Aikisha, and basically took back to some of the original bells that Aikisha can be a little shady, and that they need to watch her. Were you getting mixed signals this day? Because according to Tamara, she meant this as in Aikisha can be shady, as in throwing shade. And then the Bells assumed that Aikisha just shady as fuck and they didn't want no parts. So were you confused this day, and like what were the feelings at the Sistervention? Because it just seemed like Tamara had stirred the pot and didn't realize it, maybe. I don't know.
That's you said it. I feel like she didn't realize that she stirred the pot. And also, you can get cool with people and you can believe that they're your friends, but when they're not truly your friend through and through, they don't think the same way you do. So Tambra, I feel like Tambra is not an easy person to become a friend with because she's such a guarded person. So once she felt comfortable and felt she had a friendship with the group, I do feel like she may have said some things or alluded to some things that she perhaps didn't really think would ever resurface. And she may not even thought about it again. She might have just said, she kind of shady. I don't know. Because also you have to remember the collective they're very protective of the collective. So people who are coming in, they're watching them. They're wondering, who are these people, And then let me be real too. I think it's always a piece of something in a lot of the girls that may be thinking, we can't let nobody come up in here and stage us either, baby. We want you to be fabulous, but not that more fabulous than me. That may have had something to do with it too.
Can I just jump in there? It definitely I was confused season 2 because it seemed like, okay, there's two new additions, right? You got So Gucci and you got Aikisha. And from what I saw, this was just as a viewer, like not a part of the Bells. I saw Aikisha be hazed and I saw So Gucci just kind of skate by.
Interesting point.
And I just saw them like it was always like they always like looked into everything Aikisha said to have a problem, everything Aikisha did to have a problem, and Gucci was just same events, not dealing with none of this. You get what I'm saying? Now, season 3, we see Gucci is getting her turn, but in season 2, I just felt like, why is Aikisha having to go through all this? Because I was nervous that Aikisha was gonna exit stage left. I was like, Aikisha is not gonna keep, like, she didn't come back to Jackson for this. You get what I'm saying? She came back to Jackson to get Farish off the ground, not to get bullied by the Bells. You get what I'm saying? So, I feel horrible for her. And then, I mean, we get to the moment where her and Tamara stand up in each other's face, and it was like fingers pointing. At any one moment during that situation, did you ever think things could possibly turn physical?
Being there, I didn't feel it was going to get physical. I felt like it was going to get where it got. I was concerned when the jump up at the table. I felt like Tamara was pretty much losing her cool. I don't see Tamara fighting though. I feel like I don't think that she would now. If it had gone too far, I can see Aikisha maybe grabbing a wig and snatching it all possible.
And that's what I was like, Aikisha about to yank her ass. Cause to me, I'm like, I don't even think she lied on Aikisha. I do think Aikisha said something similar to whatever Tamara said she said, right? But it's like if I don't throw you under the bus, I should tell you I've thrown you under the bus, right? I shouldn't have you going around thinking you good with these ladies when like it's beef and it's beef caused by me. You get what I'm saying? So it was just a weird situation. I was looking at Tamara like, Tamara, you messy as hell.
I know that was a bad spot for her during that season. I remember being like,
and I remember you told her, you was like, you met me. Like, I remember y'all filmed the scene together and you was like, let's talk about this Sistervention. She wanted to act like that didn't happen. You was like, we got to talk about this because like it was about to be like 5 fights. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was bad. It got heated in there.
Another thing that came from Sistervention that to me was a little below the belt was Letitia's comment to Aikisha about being adopted. I wasn't too fond of this, and it also gave that like there's a deeper issue than just Farish and all these surface things we're discussing on the show.
Right. Definitely did. It did.
Yeah, and so I was so disappointed in Leticia during that situation.
Mhm.
Outside of that, like any more like little deets or nuggets you can drop from that situation that maybe we didn't see on the show? Because
Well,
Sistervention was like 10 out of 10.
well, when they called Marie on, Marie had COVID, so she couldn't be there that particular. They called her on the phone,
She
and
was
when
on
they called
FaceTime.
her, yes, I was like, oh hell, you know. And I have to say, what they were saying was believable. That Tambra, how it went down, it was believable because they were so passionate about like, look, this is how it went on. We got to tell y'all this. That's why I say I don't think that Tambra, if she said something like that, it wasn't registering that this would come back around. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I know I do this. Sometimes I can say stuff and forget how I said it, the way I might be surprised. They say, like, yeah, man, you did say that right. I I just been drinking. What? So who knows?
I,
These
I,
regulations be varying. I don't know.
I was like, Tamra, because
Okay.
for me, it was like you and Aikisha went to school together. Y'all have this history. It gave Tamara was a little nervous about Aikisha joining the Bills, and like you said, she didn't want Aikisha to upstage her also. So it's like
That
I'm gonna snake her to the Bills, and we got to make sure we the OG Bills, and we keep Aikisha like right here. You get what I'm
Yes, and
saying?
that's what I'm saying. It's the OG mentality. And this goes on with all the shows. I used to work with Nene. I work with Sheree. Like these are people, I've been around this for a many years, many years. And that is a natural thing that the OGs have. This is ours. Who are you? So in the spirit of protecting the collective, we want to know all the tea, all the tea. And girls get chatty and we gossip and we say stuff that we probably shouldn't say. And then boom, it comes back.
Yeah.
So, mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really, really feel bad for Aikisha. I feel like, wow, like, I don't know. It just seemed a lot unnecessary. Let's
Yeah,
talk a
yeah.
little bit
That was
about.
good. She got hazed. I like that. That's
Yeah,
pretty much.
she definitely got hazed. I was like, dang, Gucci ain't going through none of this. Um, the fashion show. So let's talk a little bit about the fashion show and the drama at the fashion show with Tamara with the security guard and Greedy being questioned and grilled, with Letitia with the ice in her mouth. What, why were the Bills so invested in this? Because we're still now in season 3. We're still talking about this Greedy and Tamara situation. Why do the Bills care so much if Greedy and Tamara is a real thing?
I feel like because two things. The relationship was dirtied by so many comments and speculations of if the relationship is real. And that all came from the fact that Tamara is so private, you don't know who she deals with, you know? And I have a soft spot for that type of relationship holding because I'm like that with mine. I got a whole ring. People didn't even know I was engaged. I'm not anymore because it's over here on my right hand now, but I'm just saying that's a topic for another time. I just knew that for me, I didn't want the world to be knowing who my man was. I'm talking about before the show. I'm speaking as Tamara, being in the streets. I knew Greedy. Greedy is from Vicksburg. Damon, I already know him, so I knew about them. The other girls did not. They thought that she was going with somebody else or this person, and it was speculation. So when they really actually it came out that they have a real relationship, people question it because automatically they think it's for the show. So,
And
but they've been
it
together.
but it seemed like the friend who was claiming that she was dating Greedy, Tasia, right? Taisha, the party planner. It seemed like she can't be on the show, or she's not a Belle. So it seemed like Marie and Leticia took it upon their self to tell her story, which was she was with Greedy, having dealings with Greedy, whatever. And so because this person is more their friend and she's
Yeah.
saying this, it helps us discredit Tamara's claims that she's with Greedy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Tamara's on the show and Taisha's not. So it's like they're doing, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we know this because she's our real friend. And,
Yeah.
she's probably telling them more than Tamara telling them. So I just don't get it. I
Ooh.
don't care, honestly. Tamara does seem like a private person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if she don't want to let us in her life and let us know all her tea, is like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we didn't
Yeah.
meet her as a married Belle. We didn't meet her as a Belle, like with kids and putting all her business on Front Street. I feel like what we get is what we get. And I don't think she's here to be the Letitia and Glendale storyline, be the Latrice and Cliff story. I don't think she's here to do that on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I really kind of feel bad for Tamara, and I hate that like everyone is so invested on if this is real or
It's
fake.
credited.
Because
Yeah.
me being a connoisseur of reality TV, I mean, I would bet my full salary that Tamara is not with Greedy. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I can tell, right? But who
You
cares?
really be digging into this stuff.
I mean, I've watched Real Housewives of Atlanta since season 1. So it's like when
Yeah.
the girls are playing in your face on TV, it's kind of like, and it's just their chemistry on camera. It doesn't read that this is her forever. Like
Yeah.
we're not seeing them tongue each other down. We're not seeing him grab her ass. It's just like real surface and, like
Yeah. Yeah.
stage. Like we're co-workers more so,
Oh my God. And that's interesting because I feel like what you're picking up is the newness of rekindling what they've had. They have been on and off for years, Jonathan, for real. They have. But when you have gotten to a point in your life where it's like, hey, we got to make some decisions on what's going on. It's going to come across like that if y'all aren't tight knit from like a consistent standpoint. Like, if you just decide we got to go and figure out what the hell we're gonna do, then it's reading like, so what do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? And then one person's like, shit, I guess so. Let's go and do this. You know, I don't want to say it's not authentic. It's just I think it's the timing of it all right now. I feel like, but it's gonna develop. You got some stuff coming your way. Just wait.
It's given Enterprise, it's given that's her car rental, and it's given I hope Greedy is getting at least 10%, 15% of Tamara paycheck because it's like he has literally helped Tamara be relevant on this show. Because with outside of this, like what would we be talking about? Tailgates at Jackson State and meeting in the park. Because this season we haven't seen her house. She meeting in the park every scene. She meeting Letitia at the park. She meeting Latrice at the park. It's like, what are we
You
doing,
be
Tim?
seeing everything.
I don't think Tim are really rocking with the Bills like that no more. And so I'm interested to see how this plays out because now we got, lawyers being discussed and all these different things. And it's just like, at some point, I just hope it's dropped because it's like, who cares? I
Well,
feel
stay
like,
tuned.
because this is as if the girls had met with the alleged pregnant lady of Glendale, right? I feel like the
Oh,
Bells would
wow.
have been like, "That's so dirty! How dare we? We's a standard. We." But it's like nobody did that to Leticia, so I just don't get why they care so much. It's just like who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's talk a little bit about the pop up from Taisha because you were present for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tamara running up out of there. Do you think Tamara ran out because she knew she was about to get exposed? Or do you think Tamara ran out because she was scared of where it could potentially go? Because seeing where the things got with this Selena and Gucci situation, if we're thinking of intruders in the words of Leticia, Taisha was an intruder. She was making her way in the Belle scene, and it seemed like if this is her real man and she's coming to confront Tamara about a man, this might get to being thrown. You get what I'm saying? So I was nervous, and I feel like Tamara left because she just didn't know where things could possibly go. What were your thoughts about that?
I did. I felt like, you know, quiet as kept. What y'all didn't see is me and Aikisha went after Tambra. And we went, Tambra was, when I tell you Tambra was gone, I'm talking about she was lightning fast gone, okay? She was so pissed, I felt like she flew. I'm talking about wing style up out there because by the time like Aikisha and I got outside, she was halfway across the parking lot or the grass area where we were her condo is actually where we were filming. And my thing was this. This is what me and Keisha were saying. And I'm surprised that they did not put this on. Maybe we were cussing too much. I don't know. But we were like, no bitch in the world is going to come into my presence to talk about my man and I run off. That's how we felt. But your point is very valid. Tamara was so sincerely upset that she probably did not know how she was going to react to that. Because me and Keisha was like, fuck that. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't give a damn. We were over here like, we wish a bitch would. But then Tamara was looking at it probably how you said, I am going to have a physical altercation today because I despise this woman so much. They despise each other. So, yeah, I think she was afraid of what was going to happen. I would have been too because I know how she dislikes this person. But this person was coming in to speak her truth. She swears up and down, hey, this is what it is. So it was like, boop, 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 boop. And I was just sitting there with myself like, Lord, I just want to just hopefully let this go on past. But I hate it.
For me, the difference was Tamara is paid to be here, and Taisha, you doing this for free. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we doing? I don't know. I felt bad for Tamara, and I thought it was super interesting that although Tamara was super shady to Aikisha at the Sistervention, Aikisha stood for what was right, and she had Tamara back.
Yes, she
And
did.
it showed, I think, the genuineness of Aikisha and how she's a girl's girl and she's still loyal, although she had every reason to be like, hell, I want Taisha to put the information on the table and expose Timber.
Yeah, so
But
true.
I feel like Aikisha adopted the mentality that I wish I saw from all the Bells in that moment. Because it seemed like, I mean, it was clearly set up by Leticia. It was clearly set up by Marie. And I'm sure Latrice knew something about it.
Oh, you talking about the girl coming?
I'm sure that alliance, all had a phone call about, oh, we taking Tamara down today. And
Oh
so
no, no. Look, I was scared. I was like, Lord, I hope that nobody called nobody. I hope to God. I hope she just popped up on
it's
the scene.
Leticia and Latrice. I feel like Leticia and Latrice got a little alliance.
Well, see, Trish and the Taisha who does the party plan. Well, she's a decorator. She's an amazing decorator.
She did their wedding, right? She did.
Yes, but they aren't. Yeah, they aren't the friends. It's Tisha and Taisha who are really close. Treese really doesn't talk to Taisha like that.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's super interesting. We then see you have to give the news about Aikisha's brunch, which I was like, why can't Aikisha introduce her own brunch? Why did you have to introduce the brunch for Aikisha? Is it because if Aikisha would have invited the girls probably wouldn't have showed up? Because I know that was an event that Aikisha had invited the girls to that no one showed up to, right? That season.
Remember
I think it was her son's
the
party or something.
kids? Oh, I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know about that. I don't know how that came about, who got invited or what. Everybody said they were doing something. Somebody said they ain't know about it at the time. Something happened, child. I don't know. That one got past me.
Y'all was hazing Aikisha. You was a part of it too.
Uh-uh.
Wait, so you're AKA, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and Aikisha's a Delta,
she's
right?
Delta. Yes,
Okay, and
yes.
so is there any other Greek members amongst the cast?
Oh, Timber's okay.
Tamara K?
Sure. If you look at her, sometimes she'll wear her pink and green beads. Uh-huh.
Maybe
So
that's
it's
why
just
the
her.
tension's so thick between her and Aikisha. That's probably why. Okay, now we're getting
Cool
somewhere.
case. We cool. We cool case. We don't be tripping.
So where did Tamara go to school?
She went to Jackson State.
Okay, explains why she was at the tailgate. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. She's
Okay.
always say. But now, as far as me giving them the tea on the brunch, I was just being a publicist. I just wanted to give the tea.
And when I tell you Aikisha brunch ran circles around Letitia's brunch, that brunch, it was night and day. It was just night and day. And it explains why those two have beef. And it was to me exciting to see her just, talk about Farish, give her
Yeah.
display of Farish, and how it included the other ladies. So I just
Yes.
thought like Aikisha event all around was just a really good event and a great way to end season 2.
And you know what happened behind the scenes? They did not show this. Aikisha had a whole different outfit, and I was trying to help her. I had to go to a seamstress to get some pants to help her, like bring it to her, and I ran out of gas. I'm talking about literally on the busiest street in Jackson, Northside Drive, other than County Line Road. That is the busiest street in Jackson. I ran out of gas and had to get out in my outfit and everything and run to a gas station. They had to help me get gas. So all this is going on, and she is like, Mel, are you serious? And I'm like, girl, yeah. So she had to wear something totally different because I couldn't get her stuff on time. I was trying to be a friend to help her out, and I totally ignored the fact that I was on fumes E. Because I was like, I need to go to the gas station. And I'm like, I can make it. So I was very late for that brunch. I missed half the brunch, honey. I was there at the end.
Well, from what we saw on the cameras, it was an amazing event,
It was
and
amazing.
it was like the best brunch I've seen on the show. I'm like, Keisha should do the brunches from now on. And yeah, I don't know what Leticia doing because I'm like, yeah, those brunches to those brunches is night and day.
Yes.
So season 3, we're now on season 3. I just want to talk to you about the So Gucci versus Selena situation. You were not present at Latrice event, correct?
Oh, I couldn't go. I was getting a breast reduction.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you heard about it in the Jackson streets, right?
Uh-oh, it paused. Oh,
You
there it
heard
is.
about it in the Jackson streets before it aired on TV?
Baby, I heard it. Oh, yes, I heard about it from Latrice immediately. I heard it from some of the people that were there. My eyelash lady, my girl, Sheena, she called me and told me about it. And I just thought that they were exaggerating. I said, it's no way that happened. It was far worse than they could ever show on that television. I'm talking about wigs, glass, dare I say blood. It was serious. It was a fight, 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 fight. So, but
I hate that. I'm about to spill some tea too. So I had Gucci confirmed for an interview. I don't know what happened with Gucci. I was team So Gucci in this situation with her and Selena because I feel like Selena came onto her turf looking for a moment. And it's like, if we never speak, why do we have to speak today? You get what I'm saying? Like, why are you looking for a moment? And I feel like Selena looked for a moment and she used being disrespected to get physical. I don't feel like disrespecting someone warrants physical violence.
yeah,
And then I assumed from what we didn't see that it was a lot worse than what we saw. Just from the noise, the melee,
yeah,
you can hear the glass and you could see something be thrown. I assumed the wig was snatched off
it
Gucci.
is. A
And
lot
we
of weed.
saw the lump on her forehead that was clear that something struck her in the face.
Oh, I never saw that.
She had a lump on her forehead. She had a lump.
I didn't know that.
She had a lump on her forehead. So I just was like, wow. I knew that it was a lot worse than what we saw. Um, I was team Gucci, and I wanted to get Gucci's perspective on everything this season because I feel like her and JJ are like a great couple. I don't think this has nothing to do with her being jealous of Selena. I feel like
Yeah.
these Bring It fans who are making that the narrative, I feel like that's kind of lame. It's like, can we keep up with what we're seeing on camera? On camera, we're just seeing some rebellious stepchildren who want to have this extreme opinion about their stepmom, And it's like if JJ and Gucci are happy, let's just focus on them being happy. Why are we trying to make this Selena thing a thing? Do you think that if there wasn't this physical altercation, Selena could possibly have joined the show as a Belle?
Yeah, I do. I think that Selena would be a great part of the show because Selena is a girl's girl and she is everywhere. And I have to say this, I've been reading the comments, I've been watching it, and I'm being for real. Like, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just telling you from my perspective. Selena is at everybody's event all the time. She has refrained from coming to a lot of the Belle stuff just because she didn't even want to be seen as somebody that wants to be on the show or wants to be on TV because, that's kind of what she expects people to think. So she was invited and she decided to come, but I'm telling you, ask anybody in Jackson. Selena is at everybody's stuff. I mean, if anybody gonna be there, Selena is gonna be at your stuff. So it wasn't a surprise to see her. I was like, okay, because people felt that Latrice brought her to be messy with Gucci, but to me, I wasn't expecting to not see Selena there. I thought she was gonna be there just because I knew that she wanted to be at the wig. She wears wigs. She's all into Goddess Link. She loved all that stuff. That was the perfect intro for Selena to be a part of the show somewhat. And she wouldn't want to jeopardize that by fighting So Gucci. Because I didn't even know they had beef like that.
The only thing I want to jump in and say that made it look like a setup was this. In that episode, at the beginning of that episode, there was a scene where Latrice and Selena met at the store.
Oh yeah.
And Latrice was kind of like picking her brain about like having beef with Gucci. That's to me what made it kind of come off like a setup.
So this is what everybody is getting that setup from.
To me, that's what gave it that because we saw them coexist at this baby shower. She asked us something about lemonade, and it wasn't that deep. So I'm like, why now at Latrice's event are they brawling? I just was confused on why they had to even get physical because I'm like, these two beautiful ladies cannot. This cannot be over JJ. Like this cannot be over JJ. I refuse to believe this is over JJ.
Yeah. Ooh, so, it's way deeper than I thought. Way deeper than I thought. That was like some built up something that just like came out. I was shocked because Selena is so nice. She's not a rat like that. Like she's not a person that's gonna come anywhere to pick a fight. She's loving on people. She's hey, she's a hugger, sappy girl. She's a Scorpio.
I was gonna say she's a Scorpio. I watched the interview with Carlos.
She did
an interview with Carlos King. And so I didn't watch Bring It. That's not a show I watched. But these fans from Bring It, they're like riding for Selena. They are letting it be known that Gucci is wrong. They siding with Selena, and I'm just like, are we watching two different shows? I'm confused.
Well, I think Gucci was wrong for saying the comment about an extra because that's so triggering. Like, I instantly, if somebody said that to me, I would have been like, bitch, what'd you say? But it's like, you still gotta
keep it together. Right. Yeah, this is not love and hip hop,
This is not love and hip hop.
Love and hip hop Jackson.
So say something shady back, say something, be like, I'm gonna talk to you later. Or we can chat about that comment you just made.
And my thing is, if you're gonna touch somebody, touch them off camera, because I'm sure you're gonna get more than just 30 seconds. You get what I'm saying? Like, if we being honest, And Gucci is known for being slick with her tongue. So I'm like, Gucci was being Gucci. So I'm like, why did she deserve a lump on her forehead? I just don't get it.
I hated that whole thing happened. I really do. That was so, whoa. That was like left field. And I'm telling you, Jonathan, that was it was bad.
Like, I can only imagine.
Everybody said the same thing.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And you can tell Aikisha was like, y'all about to fuck up my loan with the bank for Farish. You get what I'm saying? Like, let me get up out of here because it's no way we breaking ground on Farish now. So
I know that's right.
I was
Let's
like, this is
go.
too much. I said, this is ghetto. I just felt so bad. Then Letitia filming the scene with the intern where the intern dragged it and was like,
Oh yes.
I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
wow, this is crazy. So I really hated that happened to Gucci. Gucci, if you still want to come and give your side, I'm here. I'm waiting.
Come on, Gooch.
I can send another email. I'm like, I'm still waiting, Gucci. And it was crazy because let me give you a little tea. So we confirmed the email. We had the time situated, right?
Oh.
And so we had the time. And so then I get the email from her assistant or whatever saying that she has her own event that she has to get on the road for. So I guess the assistant don't know. I follow all the bell. I follow y'all. I keep up with y'all on social media. So I just went to Gucci page and I'm watching her story. Gucci and JJ out eating catfish. I'm like, we had an interview schedule and you're out eating catfish with JJ. Then the next day, she went to Essence in New Orleans and was walking bourbon with Aikisha. So I got it the next day she was getting on the road. But I was like, what about my interview? So,
oh Lord, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's okay. I appreciate it. I thank you for being here. And if you can get hold of Gucci for me, or even Aikisha, tell Aikisha come over here because I love me some Aikisha. I love Gucci too.
So I'll tell her. I'm gonna let her know.
Yes, let Aikisha know I am a huge Aikisha fan. And tell her, like, I hate that they hazed her last season, too.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I will.
Let's talk about the peace treaty and then we can just wrap up. You saw the peace treaty. What were your thoughts on the peace treaty? And like who did you think was right? Who did you think was wrong?
It was terrible. I saw that and said, first of all, the peace treaty, I knew it was going to be what it ended up being. I was like, oh God, these girls are not in the space to get together right now. It was a nice try, but I just kind of was like, oh hell, this is just bad time. I felt, Teresa is very soft spoken and stuff. When I see her getting booked and stuff like that, I was just like, oh my God. I said, this is left field. And because to me, that whole thing, now I am a person that likes to communicate. I don't know if it's the publicist in me or what, but if I am having a business deal and I decide not to continue on with you, I'm going to say, hey, I gotta go on and make some moves, baby. I gotta go. I no hard feelings, but I just need you to know what's going on. However, I also come from a family where business is handled like, if you ain't doing what I need to do, I'm going on. I don't care who you are. We'll talk about it later. And you're forgetting, and it's like, whoop, that's old school, country old school. That's how those folks type. That's what they do. And I feel like that's kind of where that mentality comes from because Treese, she handles things and she handles a lot of business with Cliff as well. And Cliff is very old school. So it's like, it's no heart in business. It's no heart in business. It's like, boo, 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 boo. I'm not saying it's right to handle it because if you're my girl, I'm going to tell you. But I know that that's likely the type of thing. And then Treese also shared with me that it had been months that went by that she had not gotten any movement from Gucci. So she felt like, I'm gonna just go on and get somebody else real quick because I gotta get this stuff done. And it was just kind of more like I'm not going to even deal with it because she obviously is too busy or isn't interested in doing it right now, and that's cool. So let me go and get this building real quick. You see what I'm saying? I just remember that conversation. It was just ironic that it ended up being a whole storyline, this situation. But what else happened at that place?
So we're gonna